I used to think I was the most even-tempered person. And I kind of wore that with like a badge of honor. I was often told that, yeah, nothing seems to ruffle your feathers, right? And so sometimes I thought maybe I don't even have emotions. I mean, I do, but I don't. I'm not really emotional. And so I started studying my human design and realized I just experience them differently. And maybe this will resonate with you. Let's take a look at my chart on here. And so we'll just go over some basics so that you have an idea who I am. This is my chart. I am a generator. I'm designed to wait to respond. When I seek out satisfaction, I know I'm on the right track, but when I head towards frustration, I'm heading into not such good territory. And what surprised me the most was that my authority was based on my emotions. Oh my gosh. I have to ride the emotional wave. I don't have emotional waves. And when I first discovered that a couple years ago, when I first started exploring human design, I was just dabbling in it, downloading things, and I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And I really kind of saw myself, except for that one thing. It didn't make sense to me. But there was other things I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, but I didn't know what to do with it until I started keep coming back to it, kept coming in my world. And so over a year ago, I enrolled in a program and I was like, this is actually really interesting me. I'm going to dig in deeper. I'm looking for something that's a little bit different. And still the solar plexus thing has always mystified me to some degree until I started studying it. And I realized, oh my gosh, I am a very emotional person. It's just that I experience them differently. And it wasn't until I started understanding myself and how important emotions are in my life. And then I think about all the years that I just shoved them down, acting like they weren't anything, is because no one explained to me how they happen in my body. And so, let's see, let's get rid of that. That's not what we want. And so let me show you a little bit here in my chart. So I'm going to move this over here so that we can see just the chart. And let's get out the handy dandy pen here. And so right here, this is the solar plexus. This is your emotional center. Mine is defined. That means I have consistent access to my emotions. We all have emotions. Even if your center is white like this, that means it's undefined. You still have access to your emotions. It's just that when it's defined, I have consistent access. I can access them anytime that I choose to. So it doesn't mean we always choose to. And I spent a lot of my life shoving it down and ignoring it because I did not choose to notice and acknowledge that because I didn't know how to. It was no fault of mine or even anybody who raised me or influenced me in my life. They just did the best that they can. It's just the way that things worked out. But it's okay because now this has become such a passion for mine. As I started in my late 40s is when I really started tuning into this and wondering. And now I'm 54 and this is such a huge passion project for me is understanding how my body works. And, I've come at it with just a curiosity. And so one of the things that I do have this defined, so I do have access to my emotions. My communication center is right here and it's defined too. And that means I have access to words. The thing is, I have a break. I have a split right here. You can see like these channels, this is separated from this. These are not connected together. There's no channel, the lines that go between them that fully connects. I have two broken ones that, are just not kind of complete or hanging. Sometimes we say they're hanging. And so there you go. That makes it a little bit hard for me to communicate it to others. And when I started to recognize, oh, they're in my body and I don't actually have to put them to words or to an image or to anything like that, I just could experience them. And that was like really cool. So I just started experiencing them without any words. That's how I got to know my emotions. And it's what I do today too. I don't even label them. I don't even have to tell anybody. I can just sit there in my body and just be like, this is how I'm experiencing it. And I often describe them in terms of sensations or whether that's something that actually physically a sensation that I notice on my skin or kind of a knowing sensation. It just draws my attention to something either on my body and sometimes it's outside of my body. It's in the air that surrounds me. But here's the thing that's really cool. So, that why this is so important for me. So over here on the personality side, right here in my earth or my grounding, what keeps me grounded, my evolution. So this is my personality, my conscious side. This is the part that I know about me, that I have easy access to. And, let's see, that'll go away. Here we go. And right here, that is where that gate or that gene key is in my communication center right here. Okay, so that means I have consistent access to ground myself through how I communicate. And so that's an important thing for me to recognize. Consciously, it's a lot easier to observe and kind of do on purpose. But here, let's go back. Let's remember hang on a second. Let me get that done. Remember, my authority is the solar plexus. That's emotional. I have to ride my emotional wave in order to come to my yes and no decisions. So my earth sign or my grounding or my purpose on my design side, my unconscious side is over here. It's 22. And where's that located? Right there in my solar plexus, in my emotions. This is something that's not as easy for me to observe. But I've had people tell me in life, oh my gosh, you are a very feeling person. You are emotional. I've had that before. But I have built so much into building a facade around me that it kind of slowly started to dissipate. And I'm sure I remember when I was a kid. You got to control your anger. You got to control your feelings. You shouldn't have so many outbursts. I didn't really recall those until later on, but it's not about, yes, I've got the conditioning around it too. But what I have now is a greater understanding of that when I ground myself with my mind and I ground myself with my body, they kind of just miss each other, right? They're not fully connected. So that just means it's not consistent, always available. But just like if you have a white center, you don't have consistent access to it. It's not always there. You have to put it together kind of in yourself. And so now this is what I do. I decide, am I going to, if I go from a thinking standpoint, I know that I might miss some of my emotion parts. So is this a thinking standpoint that I need to ground myself in? And sometimes, yes. Other times, can I just ground myself from an emotional? Can I just let my body expel or release or fumigate, whatever your term is, whatever emotion that's in there? Can I just let it flow and go in and out as it needs to and just let it do its thing? And sometimes I find that direction is the faster way for me. And it's just, now I understand why sometimes coming at it from a mind point works, but then sometimes I often think what that unconscious part is the faster, the easier route, because I don't have to think so hard about it. I just be in it. And so that's what I've been doing. I have been spending a lot more time here. And that is when I started to notice it's so much easier for me to get into my ease and being me.